He said it would be a celebration on the morning in our hearts. We mourn for Doug in the presence of each other, and in this dance hall we celebrate Doug because that's what he was about. His life was about dancing. He danced through life literally and figuratively. So we're not here to mourn Doug at this time, although our hearts do, but to celebrate his life. And for those of us who were close to him, we can appreciate the words of Grace Noel Kroll, who shares her poem, "To One in Sorrow." Let me come in where you are weeping, friend, and let me take your hand. I, who have known a sorrow such as yours, can understand. Let me come in. I would be very still beside you in your grief. I would not bid you cease your weeping, friend. Tears bring relief. Let me come in. I would only breathe a prayer and hold your hand. For I have known a sorrow such as yours and can understand. And for those who know me personally, that's very personally from the heart. Our beloved Jesus gives us hope and assurance with the words he shared with the apostles and for us when he said, "Let not your hearts be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go now to prepare a place for you, and if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there you may also be." And the author of Science of Mind puts death in its perspective when he says, "When death shall come and the spirit freed, shall mount the air and wander afar in that great nowhere. It shall go as it came, freed from sorrow and sin and shame, and naked and bare, through the upper air. Shall go alone to that great nowhere. Hinder not its onward way, grieve not o'er its form of clay, for the spirit, freed now from the clod, shall go alone to meet its God." Many people here had a lot of time and a lot of personal energy with Doug. Of course, I was Kelly's stepdad, for those who may not know it. And Kelly's mom passed away 8 years ago, and I did the memorial for her. And so the first poem I really relate to, about "Let me come in where you are weeping, friend," because when we go through our mourning time, we have to get those emotions out. And if you don't get the emotions of sadness out, we carry them with us, and eventually they make us sick. So at this time, this is a time of celebration. Doug was an individual who did a lot of celebration. And I've talked with some of his friends that couldn't be here. One of them was Ken Murray, his San Antonio friend. And Ken bought many shirts from Doug, the T-shirt man, as Doug called himself. Ken saw Doug as gregarious, outgoing, but shy inside, sort of an extrovert introvert. He remembers Doug's smile and quick handshake and his jolly disposition. Doug wanted to be in sales, and he wanted to teach dancing, which he did quite successfully for many years. He was a fierce competitor in dance competition and encouraged others the same way. And Doug always wanted to go dancing, right, Kelly? Yes. Doug was kind to Ken when Ken was in Albuquerque. And Ken saw Doug as a great wingman. A wingman is a backup if you ever need it. And he saw Doug as dependable. And Doug saved his butt several times, but I won't give you the circumstances about who, why, or what. While Doug was in the VA hospital, he had to have some teeth fixed, so he met Dr. Dave Jimenez. And Dr. Jimenez considered Doug as his favorite client, his favorite patient, because Doug was so kind, gentle, appreciative, and as he described him, a fine man to know. Now it turned out that the good doctor's daughter was going to get married, and the good doctor has 2 left feet, and he wanted to dance at his daughter's wedding, but you can't do that with 2 left feet, can you? I'm sure most of you in here know that quite well, because most of you have a left and a right. Right? Yes, right. So Doug helped him so that when the time of the wedding came, Dave was able to dance with his daughter, so it gave both the daughter and the doctor great pleasure. Doug had 2 children, Ashley and Greg, by his first wife. The close family also knows Ashley as Dee Dee, but there's only about 3 people that call her that name, and that's the immediate close family. Greg now resides in the tip of Florida, and Ashley resides in Minnesota with her 2 children, Lindsay and Laura. Doug loved his children, and he loved his grandchildren, and he would talk with Lindsay. Because I call her Dee Dee myself, because that's the way I was introduced, yeah. I call her Dee Dee because that's the way we were introduced. So Doug would talk with Lindsay several times a week. They had a very close relationship. And Doug was married to his current wife, Kelly, for over 10 years. Dancing together for them was magical. And they loved dancing together frequently, and they got out there and did it. Some people talk about it, don't do it, others get out there and do it. Yay, Kelly. They both also loved to travel, and their trips were a pure pleasure for both of them. Doug always wanted to go somewhere. So they took an Alaskan cruise and 2 Caribbean cruises to Italy and Greece. I remember with Kelly taking a cruise to Florida. You remember that one? That was the same boat. Doug loved to cook and barbecue. How many of you have eaten Doug's food? Yes. Anybody here boo his food? No. He was a great cook. And he loved barbecue too. So the family had many chances to experience Doug's great cooking and his great barbecuing. And Doug also made great soups. He liked to experiment with different spices. I started that about 15 years ago, and it turns out to be a great experience. Although every now and then, you might have to set a meal aside. So many of us got the opportunity to cook, to enjoy Doug's cooking. Doug was the owner of Discount Sales for 18 years, and as everybody closely familiar with him knows, he called himself Doug the Shirt Man, and that was his title. There was a special closeness with Doug and Kelly when they watched TV, and 95% of the time they were holding hands, and they shared a beautiful intimacy. For those of you who know Doug well, you know he liked his wrestling, and he liked his TV and his sports, and he certainly liked the San Antonio Spurs. When they first met, Doug liked Kelly instantly. And he would go out and then come back in and talk to her, go out, come back in and talk to her, he'd go out, come back in and talk to her. And she was thinking, what's this old man doing hanging around me? Well, he pursued, and it was a matter of time, and they eventually got married, and you know the rest of it from there. And what Doug always said was that God had brought them together. And Kelly was surprised to find out from her friends that Doug was actually shy, because he wasn't anything but shy with her. And she thought, why is he coming on so strong? And then she was surprised to find out that he actually was shy. And for those of us who knew Doug well, he was very pleasant. He was very present. He was part of the party and the company and everything. But he was kind of an introvert within himself, and he had his own space and his own way. Doug started the San Antonio Dance Club and was effective in organizing weekly competitions from all of San Antonio. He was a great promoter from what I hear. And in 1998, he brought the World Dance Event to San Antonio. He loved San Antonio and said, I wasn't born in Texas, but I got here as soon as I could. He trained all of his teachers himself. And how many of you have seen Doug dance? Yes. The one thing you notice about Doug immediately as a dancer is he was smooth. He's one of the smoothest dancers I've seen. Doug had the opportunity to go to Vietnam, or he was going to be sent to Vietnam, but he had the opportunity to get out of it and go to Germany. And he said, no, I'm going to Vietnam. As a squad leader with his troops on that day of patrol, they were suddenly pinned down one day. They hadn't taken any rations other than for the day, water and food. And because of the heavy rain and the squalls and so forth that they had over in Vietnam, they were pinned down for 2 weeks. People don't talk about war. If they raise your head to look to see what's going on, they kiss the world goodbye. It's not a pretty place. And finally, the weather cleared though, and the planes came in to rescue. And after their unforgettable experience, most of you may know that he was blown up by a Claymore mine in December, Christmas Day of 1969. Hell of a Christmas present, to say the least. But it was a pure miracle that he even survived, but he did. Somebody's prayers got answered somewhere. He spent months in the hospital recovering as best he could, but he carried that experience with him the rest of his life. And he would tell you what post-traumatic stress syndrome is. And all the men or women who have been in war and who have had to be involved with what war involves come back with post-traumatic stress syndrome, and if they don't, they're extremely exceptional. I was lucky. I was in the military during the Cold War, stationed over in Germany for 2.5 years. And I don't know how many of you remember that time, but we knew that we were all going to die in a nuclear war because Russia and the U.S. were involved in this Cold War. And you would think that going over to Germany would be frightening, but I was too young and excited to be frightened. You know how when we're young and we're bold and we want the adventure and we don't care about dangers and we get out there and we do it. And sometimes we pay the price for it. You received the Purple Heart, the Purple Star Medal, the Purple Heart and the Bronze Star Medal, and he was a technical sergeant when he left the military with his disabilities. The thing I remember most about Doug personally, myself, is that he was like a background entertainer. You know what I mean? He was in the background preparing the food and doing whatever else was needed. At this point, what we want to do is open it up. We're here to celebrate Doug, and there are many of you that would like to take a few minutes and say something about Doug. So if you wouldn't mind coming to the front and just using the mic so that people can hear you, just come on up front and we'll make the mic available to you.
My name is Geek Nofsker, for those of you who don't know me. I had the privilege of getting to know Doug pretty well over the last decade, and as I got to know him, I became very interested in what made him tick. You know, what made him do what he did, and why he did it, so forth and so on. So I made some notes about some of my observations. If you guys will bear with me for a few minutes, I'd like to kind of go with it. The most curious thing about, not curious, but certainly this was true, that the things that he respected, honored, and loved, he really kept private and close to his vest. But he was by no means superficial, you know. And once you got to know Doug, these values meant a great deal to him, and he spent his life living them. And he always spoke to me about his good fortune of having lived his life with a loving and devoted wife, son, daughter, grandchildren, and friends, and extended family. You know, that was a big deal to him. That was a big part of his life. And particularly in the last few months, you know, I heard a great deal of talk from him about how much gratitude he had for Kelly, because he recognized that had it not been for Kelly, you know, he'd be tucked away somewhere in a nursing home and may just not see the light of day. So, you know, I'm very grateful for Kelly as my friend too, to have taken such excellent care of him. He damn sure appreciated it. So, so interestingly enough, you know, we thought quite a bit and talked quite a bit of the part that love played in his life. And Jack was just talking about his experiences in Vietnam. Well, you know, he was drafted in 1967 when he was 27 years old. That's a young man and got life ahead of you. You know, all the expectations that we all had at that age. Well, he answered his call to duty, and he did it willingly. You know, he told me many, many times that he did it because he thought he was a part of our country, and he owed it to everybody that was here, and he loved everybody that, you know, he needed to give back something that had been given to him, which was the birth in this great country. So he went over there willingly, and he did his part, even though, as Jack was talking, you know, he was in harm's way all the time, being shot at, or trying to avoid being killed, and watching his buddies get torn up. And it was a hell of a life. And unfortunately, on Christmas Eve, as Jack was telling you, when he's 29 years old, he gets blown up with a landmine. And he winds up in a back hospital where they patched him up, and then they sent him on to another hospital, and he went to a succession of additional hospitals for a year. And after that, they discharged him, sent him home, said, well, you're going to die within a year. Well, what a hell of a deal. I mean, with Doug, you know, he was so determined to live that he proved those doctors wrong. So here he was, he lived another 48 years. What a hell of a deal. But his life was defined from that moment, you know. His life now became hospitals and doctors. And here's, so the rest of us, you know, we've had our lives, they've been very full. And, you know, I felt really embarrassed to even talk to him about it because, you know, I didn't make those kind of sacrifices, but with the grace of God, he was willing to do it simply because he had this great love for humanity and his family, and you know, was willing to do what he felt was part of his principles, and that's the way he lived. But this went on, you know, up until, I don't know, a year or so ago, having operations, fixing him because his innards were all disassembled and blown apart, and you know, things finally progressed to the point where they made a determination that Agent Orange, which he got in Vietnam, was the ultimate cause of his lung cancer. So he paid the price, I mean, for the rest of us. And by the grace of God, you know. He did all that sort of stuff willingly. So, so the years marched on, and we talked more and more, and I got to know him a little more. He always told me the most odd thing. He says that if he had to do it all over again, he would do it all the same, even if it meant him getting blown up. He said his life was such a blessing to him that he would do it again. It took me a long time to understand that, but what a great attitude. What a great sacrifice this man was willing to make. So I thank God because it takes men like Doug, and those are true men, to make these kind of sacrifices for the rest of us. I appreciate having had Doug as my friend. And on a lighter note, the last few months in talking to him, he kept, every time we would meet, he would tell me, he said, well, listen, when I get to heaven, I'm going to prepare things for all my friends and relatives. He says, so when you all get there, I'm going to grease the skids a little bit with St. Peter, maybe I can get more of you in. I said, well, that's wonderful, Doug, but don't leave St. Peter with the impression we're in any rush to get there. So wherever Doug's at, and I'm assuming that's where he's at, you guys know that he's there working for us. And interestingly enough, he says that he was going to get all the angels up there to, he's going to organize them because he's going to create a dance club. And we're going to have plenty of dancing up there. And he's going to give us free lessons. So what a guy, huh? So I want to tell you one little story and then I'll shut up. I took dance lessons from Doug for a long time, and because I recognized I needed them. And Doug was very polite and politic and correcting me, just for us too. And one of the things he was always asking me about was my waltz. He would get particularly frustrated if I would reverse my direction on the dance floor, so I was dancing backwards. He said, you can never do that in waltz. My God, that's horrible. He said, don't ever do that. Well, to me, it seemed perfectly natural. So it was awful hard for me to break that habit, and I never did. But we developed this where I would dance in front of him, and just as soon as I got in front of him, if he could see me, I would reverse. And at first, he would give me these frowns like he was condemning me. This became a point of humor between the two of us. So I was his best buddy with learning how to dance backwards in the waltz. So thank you guys for letting me speak, and I want to tell you folks that I appreciate having Doug as my friend, and I do miss him. So thank you.
Okay, my name's Al, and my friendship with Doug started with him trying to teach me to dance. Okay. And anyway, I guess I really just would be emphasizing some of the things that Deke already said, and one in particular that just blew me away was when asked if he would do that all over again. He would look you in the eye like, well, of course. I mean, it wasn't any phony, that's just who he was. And I guess the thing that impressed me the most was even after all he'd been through, nothing made him happier than teaching somebody not just to dance, but to have fun dancing. And he took me from 2 left feet to where it was almost life-changing. I would come over, and with Kelly's help, I would learn these steps, and I was still so insecure. and unsure of myself that I didn't know about actually going out dancing. I didn't think I'd really do that. But Kelly and Doug would go to the dance hall and save me a seat at the table and encourage me to come. And then would sit there. Kelly might dance with me. And then Doug would, she'll dance with you, she'll dance with you. And he pushed me and to the point where I know it's really been life-changing. And a couple of weeks ago, several weeks ago, visiting with Doug, and I was trying to explain to him how life-changing that was for me. Because he not only taught you the steps and the patterns, but the enthusiasm and the passion and the joy that he got out of dancing, and then even the people he taught. We'd be at the caravan, and Deke would go by and do something, and he'd say, I taught him that. So, and he also made the comment, which I'm repeating, but one day he said, you know, you guys aren't as aware of it as I am. He said, but I'm getting ready to go be with Jesus. And when I get there, first thing I'm going to do is teach him to dance. So that was who he was. And we're going to miss him, but he's brought a lot to everybody's life, and I will forever be grateful. And so, thank you.
Can you all hear me? Yeah. Good. My name is Patty Miller, and oh my gosh, I don't even remember the first time that we met. But one of the things that my connection with Doug and Kelly is with dancing, and Mike Haley, my dance partner, and I taught dance lessons here in Albuquerque for many years. And we had a great following of people. One of the things that I was able to do, because of a lot of you coming out and supporting an event, my sister was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and so I started doing an event called Dance Because You Can. And I wanted to try and make as much money as possible, so one of the ways was to have t-shirts to sell. And I knew somebody that might help me out. And so with Doug and Kelly's help for many, many years, the Dance Because You Can project was 10 years, but we did walk t-shirts. We did t-shirts before that. I mean, I don't know how many t-shirts that you guys delivered to my office, but it was a ton. And always, always, Doug would come in and he'd bring in a box. Hey lady, here's your t-shirts, and he was always a great smile. And here he was able to do so much for other people with dancing and everything else, and he was helping me to help my sister and help raise money with MS. So throughout that whole time, just with Dance Because You Can, we did a lot of fundraisers throughout the whole country, but it was a significant amount of money that was raised here. And with your help, we raised over $1 million. That's for MS. And a lot of that money came over the years from t-shirt sales, because this was before 9/11, when I could schlep 3 or 4 suitcases with me and take t-shirts to other dance events throughout the country. But the event was called Dance Because You Can. We had Taste Because You Can. We had other events. And he did bags and t-shirts for them as well. But the thing that really strikes me about Doug and Kelly as well is that whole saying of, it started out with, do it because you can. And with my sister being sick, she said, you know, it doesn't really matter whether you have MS or you don't have MS. Every single day, you should find out and ask yourself what you can do because you can. And that was Doug and Kelly. They always did everything they could do every day, and always did it with a smile, and he will be missed.
Anybody else want to share? things that I got from Doug and his experience and other people like him is the problem of war. We need to turn this planet into a place of peace. And even though Doug had to pay the price for what he did, I'm sure he'd be the first to say, let's be friends and let's have peace. And my sense is that many of us have learned the lesson, we're changing, and we're going to help bring a great era of peace in. And I know as Doug looks down from up above, he'll be smiling and saying, wow, isn't that great? Isn't that great? So at this point, I'd like to do a prayer for our friend Doug. And so if you would, if you like, close your eyes, go into your heart. And as I close my eyes and go into my heart, I feel that holy presence. The presence that is everywhere, but not always felt by everyone or all the time. That great presence is love. It is that great presence that now embraces Doug in the most beautiful hug that you can have at the upper level, filled with love and peace and appreciation, because that one Creator sees Doug as his perfect creation, as each of us are. Yes, we go through our trials and our learning and so forth, but we learn and we move and we grow and we evolve. And what we experience teaches us to be better people. And so I know that from Doug's experience, each one of us will take the commitment to ourselves to make this a better world, so that beautiful people don't have to give their lives or their limbs or whatever it may be in war. And so as one group, we declare it is time for peace on earth. It is time for peace in our own heart. It is time for peace in the city, the state, the nation, the world. And if Doug were here, I know what he'd say. He'd say, let's have a dance and all celebrate peace. So we send our love and our blessings to Doug, knowing that he's in a world of great love. He's in a world of great peace. His soul is at rest. His heart is happy. He paid the price. He's free. But we remember him. And we get the value of that lesson to guide us in our own lives. Nothing Doug did was in vain. It teaches the rest of us to be involved in life, to be gregarious, to be loving and associated with other people, and to help make this world a better place. So as one body, we call for the blessings of the divine on Doug, knowing that he is divine, he is divinely blessed, and we call for that divine love and peace for Kelly and all the rest of the family, so that in the midst of the loss, the challenge, there is that strange peace that surpasses understanding. And having felt that myself on a number of occasions, I know that when we feel that feeling, in spite of what we face, a part of us is at peace. So I declare peace of heart for all who knew Doug and who suffers loss, and who appreciate his presence. And so as one group, we say, Doug, we know that the butterfly is the end of the caterpillar, and that you are flying high as a magnificent butterfly. We love you, we bless you, we send you on your way, and thank you for all you did for every one of us in whatever way. And we give thanks knowing he is blessed, and it is good. And together join in saying, and so it is, and so it is. And be sure to visit with your friends and take advantage of having this time together of Doug's friends. Kelly?
Just want to let you know that if you wanted to go in, Steve, we do have maps on how to get need to stay back in this area, but please have all the food and drinks that you want. Thank you.
Mama.
He wants us to dance. There was something, he didn't want a funeral, he wanted a life celebration. And he wanted people to dance. He was afraid that if all I did was have people go to Santa Fe, he said, but they won't come, they have to dance, they have to dance. And so it was very, very important to him that people danced. So here we are. We find out where the now.
You've all heard the song, everybody get up on your feet.
Find out how to turn the music on.